Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is obviously going to be another Shop My Stash video. I actually feel like I've gotten some pretty good use out of most of the products in here. There are some categories that I definitely did not do well at, but I'm excited to go through my drawer with you guys, tell you what I used, tell you what I'm keeping in, and then go through my makeup collection and shop my stash. So if you're interested, then obviously just keep watching. All right, we're gonna start with this side over here. This is like primers and foundations. So up first we have the Kaja Luminous Dream Puff Radiant Primer, and I actually use this a ton. This is new to my collection, so I was testing it out to get my full thoughts before I come back and do my Sephora VIB sale haul follow-up, whatever you want to call it. But I did get a lot of use out of this, and I'm going to put it away for a while. And then the other primer that I had was the Amazing Cosmetics Illumination Primer slash Highlighter. This I have used a bit, and I'm really trying, this is I believe the oldest primer in my collection, so I'm really just trying to use this up and get it out of my collection. I don't even think that you can purchase this even anymore, but if you could, it's not something that I think does a whole lot. It does a really nice job of illuminating your face, but it almost gives that artificial look. So even if I could still get my hands on this, I wouldn't repurchase this, and I would like to just finish this up and get it out of my collection. So this is almost like an unofficially trying to pan product. So I am going to keep it in for that reason. Even though I'm getting good use out of it, it's because I want to use it up. Okay, and then I had a whole heck of a lot of foundations. I purchased 5 new foundations in the month of August, so I have all of them in here. Oh, there's where my Laneige, I've been looking for this. Okay, good. Okay, so I purchased 5 new foundations, and I'm gonna do a ranking, and I'm gonna do a review on all 5 of these in one video. That should be coming in the next week or so. So I have obviously been using all 5 of these as often as I can. I think I have now used each of them 2 times minimum, and some of them I've used 3 times. So I'm gonna keep working my way through these so I can use each of them at least a good 3 to 4 times before coming back to give you guys my review. I am going to be putting all 5 of these away and just reach for them as needed. I do my makeup multiple times a day on days that I am filming, and I want to make sure that each of these gets like 2 to 3 days of like full wear rather than just like filming and maybe on for like 3 to 4 hours. So I'm going to continue to work my way through these 5, but I'm not going to keep them in my drawer until I'm able to get that review video up for you. And then I also have my number 7 Stay Perfect foundation. I wore this a few times to work. Now all of the number 7 foundations, in my opinion, pull a little bit gray almost. They're very, very cool toned. So I would mix this with my warm toned Essence Fresh and Fit foundation, and I really liked the way that those two paired together. I do feel like I got some good use out of this, so I am going to put this away for a little while. Oh, I forgot I had my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer in here. I picked this up in August, and clearly I have not tried this yet, so I'm going to keep this in so that I can give it a go. Okay, moving on. Okay, up here is all of my Project Pan items. This NARS face palette is a Project Pan item right now, and anything stashed back here is also Project Pan items. So I'm not going to go through all of that with you, so we'll move on to this little cubby right here. This NARS Potted Concealer is actually also a Project Pan item also, and I use this as eyeshadow primer, so I always have this in. This Lippy Scrub and this Lippy Balm are also Project Pan items. This Elephant Debronzy Serum I just leave in here to mix with any foundation that I feel like I need to make it just a little bit darker, so this always sits in here. Then I also have my ABH Fenty Matte, or not ABH, why did I say that? My Fenty Matchstick in Amber. This is a really good contour shade for me. This isn't my favorite product, but I do always keep this in here because this is what I use for nose contour. And then I just have my ABH Clear Brow Gel in here as well, and this is kind of like a permanent cubby. I also have this Bobbi Brown Goldstone, right? Goldstone cream eyeshadow. I did use this one time, but I was like flying out the door and just popped this on. I think I will keep this in one more rotation. And as far as single shadows are concerned, the other single kind of shadow stack that I had in here was my Kaja stack, and I still didn't use this, you guys. I'm filming later today. I need to use this because it's ridiculous how long I've had this without even trying it. Over here I have the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in, I think, rose gold, yes, and I didn't get around to using this. This isn't a product that I love, so it's not something that I'm super excited to reach for, so I will keep it in to try and get at least a couple of uses out of it. And then I also have my Burberry Fresh Glow Luminous Base, this just little mini. I want to use this up. I know I really like this product. I just keep forgetting to reach for it. So maybe I'll put it over here so I remember. Okay, moving over here, I have my Essence All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder. I'm just going to keep this going as my translucent pressed powder for the time being. I don't have a ton of pressed powders, so we'll just keep that rolling. I have the Lawless bronzer that I picked up during the Sephora VIB sale, and I am going to put this away. I got a ton of use out of this because I was obviously testing it to see what I thought about it. So I feel really good about the use that I got on this, and I'm ready to put this back. Then I have my Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in Light, and I don't know why I'd never reach for this, so I didn't get any use out of it, and I'm going to roll it in for another round. Okay, then moving up here, this is primarily highlights and blushes. So I did have my Becca Rose, no, this was Vanilla Quartz mini. I used this one time, but I am going to keep it for another rotation. I just don't love the yellow gold reflect that it gives, but so many people love this, and I feel like I haven't given it like truly a fair shot, so I'm going to keep this in another rotation and see if I like it. This is something that I also picked up during the Sephora VIB sale. It's one of the new Milk pressed highlighters, and this is in the shade Lit. This is such a cool formula, you guys. Obviously I'll share more during my VIB follow-up, but even when you swatch it, like, it just doesn't even feel like a powder. And it is an absolutely stunning highlight. I really want to pick up more of these, I'm not gonna lie. But I did get good use out of this, but because I've been loving this so much, I do just kind of want to keep it in for another rotation. Then I had my Wet n Wild Blossom Glow highlighter. This is the more pink toned highlight that Wet n Wild offers. I used this a couple of times. I do reach for pink tones a lot more in the winter time. I know I can just pick this again in a few rounds, so I will put this away just so I can rotate through my collection better. Then I had the Benefit Cookie highlighter that I picked up during the sale. I've used this quite a few times. It is a very blinding highlight, not something I would reach for every single day. I do think I'm ready to put this away for a while as well. Then finally for highlights, I had my Bobbi Brown Mini in Pink Glow, and I think I used this one or two times like right after filming my Shop My Stash, my last one, but I love this highlighter and I would like to get a little bit more use out of it, so I am going to keep this in rotation one more round. As far as blush is concerned, I got really good rotation. Like, I felt like I was really good about rotating through all of the blushes that I pulled. So first we had MAC Melba, just this beautiful neutral blush. I think this is beautiful, especially for this time of year. So I think I am going to put this away for a little bit. I am going to keep my one of the other blushes in rotation, and it kind of has the same similar effect. I want a blush like this in rotation because obviously it's fall and I think it's beautiful. I wasn't sure I was sold on this. With these MAC blushes, I feel like you almost have to scrape off the top layer to get good pigment payoff, but once I got through that top layer, I do feel like I am getting good pigment payoff, and this is a beautiful blush. So then I also had my Cover FX Duo in Soft Peach, and I did get some good use out of this as well, more so this side than the highlight slash blush topper side, but regardless, I used this probably at least 4 times, I believe. Very, very pretty. Again, very, very neutral. I do really like the Cover FX Duos. I think they're very pigmented, so you have to be careful about going too heavy-handed sometimes, but was really happy to get some use out of this, and I will put this away for now. And then, like I said, I'm going to keep my Jouer Blush Duo in Adore. Is it Adore or Adore Me? In Adore. I'm going to keep this in for this round, even though I was able to get some good use out of it. This blush is so beautiful, and once I went a little bit too heavy-handed with this, so I just topped it with this side, and I love the effect that that gave too. I think this is a phenomenal blush duo, and I'm really glad that I have this in my collection, and even though I got some good use out of it, I want to continue using it. Okay, so then back here we have the concealers. This Lunch Money highlighter is currently in a project pan, so I'm going to toss this over here. This NYX concealer actually is in a project now as well. The Josie Maran Vibrancy Concealer. I didn't use this a ton, but this has been in rotation for a few rounds now, I believe. And this is more of a summer concealer for me just because it's so hydrating. And even though it's so hydrating and it's a summertime concealer, I still do feel like it has to be set. And I haven't been... I should say I've been in a rush a lot of mornings recently and haven't had the time to set my concealer necessarily, so I'm going to put this away. I just don't see myself reaching for this. I also picked up the e.l.f. Camo Concealer during the month of August, so I did get a chance to test this a few times. This is very, very full coverage. I do agree with people who say that it is similar to Tarte Shape Tape. I'm going to keep this in another rotation as my very full coverage concealer, rather than pulling Tarte Shape Tape or my Too Faced Born This Way, just so I can get some more use out of this. And then I also had my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. This has been in rotation for a while just because I love it so much and I always want to reach for it. But because I'm currently trying to pan the NYX concealer, I will put this away for the time being. And then back here I have the NYX Butter Gloss, which I was able to get some use out of. And then I also was able to get some use out of my Stila lipstick in Emma. And then these two lip products I didn't end up using. This is the Persona liquid lipstick in OG, as well as the Nat, as well as the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade Madrid. So these will stay in. And then I have my cream products, and I really only used my cream products one time. I have the Milk Lipstick, which I almost always have in rotation. You guys, I sound like a broken record, but I use this as my highlight to go to the gym all the time. And then I have my Ulta Beauty face sculpting stick, which I'm not sure is available anymore, but I really do love this as like an all over face bronzer, a cream bronzer. So I'm going to keep this in rotation. And then I didn't get any use out of my Flower Pots or Flower Blush Balm, so I will keep these in rotation as well. These are in the shade Pinched. And then back here I was horrible at using my face palettes this rotation. I didn't use any of these one time. I have the NARS Hot Summer Nights face palette, so I will try and keep this in rotation and use it again. I had also pulled this Lorac blush palette, and I think I just forgot that I had pulled this because there was a point where I was like, okay, I feel like I've rotated through all the blush I pulled like a few times over, and I was kind of getting bored, but I should have reached for this. So I'm going to keep this in another rotation. And then my ABH Moonchild, I also did not reach for at all. I just kind of forgot about it. So we will keep this keep this in rotation as well. I should be good on face palettes, so I shouldn't have to shop my stash for any face palettes this round. All right, now that we have made it through the entire drawer, oh, I forgot to mention, you guys, I had this number 7 bronzer sitting back here. This is in the shade Golden Sand, and this, I just don't love the shade on me anymore. I used to really, really love this bronzer, and maybe it's just something I should have reached for more in the summer, but it's a little too warm toned for me right now, and honestly, there's so many more bronzers in my collection that I would rather reach for over this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and just declutter this. All right, now that we have officially made it through my drawer, we are gonna go ahead and go over to my makeup drawers, or where I store my makeup, and we are gonna shop my stash. All right, you guys, so up first we have primer and foundation to shop through. So I keep all of my primer and foundation in here, and my foundation side is getting super, super full, as you can see. I do just want to make sure I have a foundation pulled that I can wear every day for work that's not too full coverage and is going to be really easy for me to wear. So I think for that, I'm going to pull my Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. This is a really easy wear to work one. It's not the most long-lasting foundation, but for me it wears away gracefully enough that I can get away with wearing this to work. So I'm going to pull this, and then I'm also going to pull one of my least favorite primers in my collection. I'm going to pull my Cover FX Power Play Foundation because I rarely ever reach for this because I dislike it so much. I do like to mix this with my MAC Strobe Cream, so I am going to pull that because that's the only way I like to wear this. But if I'm going to keep this in my collection, I want to make sure I'm at least using it from time to time. So we will pull it for this rotation, even though it's going to pain me to use this. So then for primer, I'm feeling pretty good about primer because I have that Amazing Cosmetics one, which is an illuminating one to work on. And then I have the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So I actually feel like primer category, we should be good to go, minus pulling my MAC Strobe Cream to mix with that
Cover FX foundation. All right, into powder and concealer drawer. For concealer, I actually feel pretty decent about the concealers. I just have 2 concealers right now. I have a full coverage one, and then I have the NYX one, which is more medium in my opinion. So I feel like I actually think I'm going to pull the Jouer high coverage concealer as well. It's been a while since I have used this. So I'm going to see if I can get some use out of this. And then I'm just feeling like going with my tried and true Hourglass powder for my loose setting powder. Next rotation, I will try and reach for the Too Faced one, but I just really am feeling like wanting to reach for my Hourglass one. For pressed powder, I don't feel like I'll need a pressed powder since I have the Essence All About Matte one. So we will call it, actually, you know what, if I have that Cover FX foundation, I'm going to reach for my Hourglass Luminous Light Finishing Powder just to try and give a little bit more of a glowy sort of life to the skin, so I will also reach for this. Next up, we have my bronzer drawer, and I am really feeling inclined to reach for my Cover FX Bronzing Duo. This is, I think this might be my new favorite bronzer in my collection. Like, this might be my favorite right now. So I am going to reach for this, and then I also am going to grab my NARS Diffused bronzer in Laguna. This is the Sunwash bronzer, and this is a really good bronzer for me in the fall and winter time, so I'm excited to play around with this. Okay, next we have my blush drawer, and I have that blush highlighting palette. What other blushes do I want to reach for? You know what, I don't know if I've ever used this NYX blush. This is in the shade Amber, I think. Yep, Amber. I can't tell you a time I've ever actually worn this on my face, so I am going to pull this, and then I also am going to pull my Physicians Formula Butter Blush. This is in the shade Plum Rose, and we will call it good for my blush drawer. Okay, so then moving into highlight drawer number 1, this is my more pink toned highlight drawer, and I actually, what do I want to reach for? It's been a while. Oh, you know what? I will do this. It's been a while since I have, if I could open this, since I have used, if we could get in focus here. It's been a while since I've used my Makeup Forever highlighter. This is in the shade 1. It's a really, really beautiful pink highlighter. It's not going to focus. Well, I'm sorry that I just can never get my camera to focus, but it is a really beautiful blinding pink highlighter. So I will grab this out of this drawer, and then, okay, so then we have my more champagne / gold highlight drawer. And I actually, before even filming this, had felt very inclined to grab my MAC Hyper Real Glow palette. It has been a while as well since I've reached for this, and this one leaves me with a champagne and a pink highlighting option, so I think I'll pull this and we will call it good for highlighters. So then in this drawer, I have all of my like single shadows that aren't just like in Z palette form, as well as all of my liquid shadows. And I feel like I should pull a liquid shadow. I'm gonna pull this one from Flower Beauty. This is in the shade Camo. I'm sure that this isn't autofocused right now, but this is just a really beautiful like darker olive green sort of shimmer. And then I purchased these Halo Top ColourPop singles and like basically have never reached for them, so I'm gonna pull one of each of these. This one is just basically like a white sparkly shadow. This is in the shade Tassel, and then this is more of like a yellow gold shade right here. Again, I don't know how well this is autofocusing, and this is in the shade Extra Sprinkles. So we'll pull those from my single shadow drawer and call it good for that. I shouldn't need any new brow products, any new mascaras, or any new eyeliners, so nothing out of this drawer. Then the following 2 drawers are my face palette drawers. One is my ABH Glow Kit drawer, one is just my face palette drawer, but I said I'm good for face palettes, so we're gonna go in to my bottom drawer. Oh, I forgot I had that Becca powder from BoxyCharm. And I also recently picked up the Catrice Fresh It Up primer. And then I still have my ColourPop Baby Got Peach palette, as well as a blush and the Identity 2 palette to test out. So I actually am going to pull all of these items. So this is what the blush looks like. It's just like a really beautiful peachy, lighter peachy blush. This is in the shade Fresh and Peachy. Haven't tried this at all. Again, I have the Fresh It Up primer from Catrice that I just recently picked up that I really want to try. People say that this is a dupe for the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, which I actually accidentally broke mine. So if this is a dupe, that'd be awesome, because then I don't have to repurchase this one, and this one is only $7.99. So then I have the ColourPop Baby Got Peach palette that I will pull and use, as well as the Persona Identity 2. For lips, I'm going to pull my Huda liquid lipstick in the shade Muse. I'm also going to pull my Buxom lipstick in the shade White Russian, and then I'm going to pull this Hourglass lip gloss in the shade Sublime as well, and we will call it good for the lip category. Okay, so I added a new organizer to this drawer, so this is going to be looking a little bit different than what you just saw, but this is the final Shop My Stash rotation, final makeup getting ready drawer for the next couple of weeks. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and will consider subscribing before you leave. Other than that, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys.